What's cracking, man? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing, man? Um, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Are y'all all right, man? You still watching the playback from last night? Yeah, Cali fires, man. I don't know too much about this. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know it's a big deal. Let's look into it right now, man. Let's see what they talking about. Hit the like button.
We have Margaret Stewart from LA Fire on the phone with us again. And I say again because you were so gracious to talk to us last evening, Ms.
Shout out to Items Fave, man.
On what we are witnessing right now near Runyon Canyon.
Yes, we have a very dangerous and explosive fire in the Runyon Canyon, and we cannot emphasize enough, we need people to adhere to our immediate mandatory evacuation, and I will describe the box for you. On the right to the east is the 101, north to Mulholland, west to Laurel Canyon, south to Hollywood Boulevard. So that's the current mandatory evacuation zone. And if you go to lafd.org/news, you can click on the Sunset Fire link, and you'll be able to see the map. And to the west, so the evacuation zone will be in red. In yellow is the evacuation warning, and that goes slightly further south, I believe to Sunset, and it goes west and slightly north, primarily westerly direction for quite a ways out towards Franklin Canyon. And so while we want immediate evacuation in the box I described, we also are asking people to evacuate early in the warning zone because this has the potential to move quickly. As you were just discussing, winds are still in excess of 25 miles per hour. Fortunately, they're not nearly what we had last night, and our aircraft are making, they're able to make drops, and they can start knocking out the hot pockets in the large areas of fire. But this is a dangerous situation, and we want people to go now.
Ms. Stewart, are you confident with the resources that we have, the extra resources that we are having today, that, and I know you don't want to make a prediction, but you know, this is your area. Are you pretty confident that we can get this under control before it gets out of control?
We've got 27 fire companies that are already on scene. That's over 150 firefighters that are on scene for structure defense and to anchor this fire. And then combine that with our air assets that are making water drops. It's a well orchestrated team. And now that we have the ability to fight on both fronts, from the air and from the ground, it gives us a much better position to be able to stop this fire.
And I know this is the work of law enforcement when it has to do with people being evacuated, but do you have any updates on that? Is there an organized effort as to where people should go? Are you privy to that information right now?
Yeah, so our law enforcement partners, LAPD and potentially the sheriff's deputies may be assisting them, will handle the hands-on evacuation, and Parks and Recs are preparing the evacuation centers. It takes a minute to get those ready, so they're not open yet. So right now, we just want people to get south and get out of the area. And as soon as we have those evacuation centers up and running and staffed, we will get that information out.
Is there a website that you could give me now, Ms. Stewart, that when the information is ready? Okay.
LAFD.org/news, and you'll actually see a page for each of the fires. You'll see the Hearst fire, the Palisades fire, and the Sunset fire. Each have a link, and they each have their own map that shows the evacuation zones and all of the current information.
Can you say right now that this fire that we're looking at is a result of some of the other fires that have been burning? It seems to be pretty far away from the Eaton.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not, I would say that's not likely because the distance and, the winds obviously aren't what they were earlier in the day and last night. But right now we just don't know. Right now our focus is life and property.
Okay. And can you tell us about any other areas that you're involved in right now? LA Fire. Can you give us an update? Do you have any new information? Since I have you on the phone.
We gave. Yeah, we had a press conference, a little while ago regarding the Palisades fire. So any new information was provided there. There's no update on that. The Hearst fire has been held at the same 700 acres. It's not contained yet, which means having fire lines around the fire, but it has not grown, and we've had no injuries at the Hearst fire. So those are.
Wow. How was this able to happen? How did this happen? How did this happen? We're going to get to this, man, how it happened.
Good evening and welcome. I've covered wildfires in California since the earliest days of my career, and I don't remember anything quite like the firestorms raging across Southern California tonight. Multiple major infernos destroying more than 1,000 homes and businesses, killing at least 5 people and defying efforts to contain them. Firefighters in Pacific Palisades outmanned and in some cases out of water, hydrants running dry, firefighting aircraft for a time grounded by ferocious winds, some gusting around 100 miles per hour. Rows of homes and restaurants along the Pacific Coast Highway were consumed by the flames. This is what it looked and sounded like. Almost haunting, the Pacific Palisades fire growing to nearly 16,000 acres. 40 miles away, the Eaton fire turned deadly and has exploded to over 10,000 acres. Tonight, thousands in the region are under evacuation orders, filling shelters. Schools are closed, while power is out for 1.5 million Southern Californians. Gotti Schwartz is in the fire zone to start our coverage.
This area of Altadena has become an absolute wasteland. You've got rows and rows of homes that have burned. You've got some homes that are still standing, but it's just a matter of time.
This was the moment the sun rose over the fire raging above Pasadena, but you'd never know it because the dawn disappeared in the smoke.
Again, you hear those explosions. So many of these homes, there is no hope.
But against the odds in Mother Nature, some stayed doing everything they could to fight back.
There are people still here trying to fight this fire with garden hoses. There is still water in this area.
Come on, man. And listen, just the people in Katrina, man. In Katrina, they wouldn't leave either. Some people just don't want to leave their stuff, man. And I get it, man. I got a lot of stuff in my house, man. You know what I'm saying? Like keepsakes, memorabilia, just stuff that, means a lot to me, man. And somebody say, hey, man, you got to leave right now. The fire's going to come burn all your shit up, but you got to leave right now. Some people, out of 100 people, one person not going to want to leave. And out of 1,000 people, 10 people not going to leave. And out of 10,000 people, 100 people not going to want to leave. And on and on and on and on. Maybe even more. I'm just being conservative.
Back.
There are people still here trying to fight this fire with garden hoses. There is still water in this area, but with this much destruction, it almost seems futile. You were here fighting by yourself, right?
Yes.
How long have you been out here?
I've been out here since 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yes.
Trying to protect your home.
Yes.
You now have a full, contingent of firefighters here.
Yes.
It seems like it's right in the nick of time.
They saved this home for now.
Hey, let's go. Yo! Hey, I'm taking it in.
A scene that played out across so many fire lines, from the foothills of the Angeles Mountains to the Palisades.
And then trying to make entrance. They're smashing down that door. They got to go inside. They got to make sure no one is here.
Who else is left in the house? Right. Yeah.
Homeowners on rooftops trying to wet down everything.
Here they come. We're going to help you.
It's hard to show the scope of what's going on.
As we headed down Sunset Boulevard, the loss was worse than any fire we've ever seen. And this looks like the apocalypse here. In the chaos, way too often, firefighters left without water as hydrants went dry.
They are not designed to fight wildfires. A firefight.
Yeah, I mean, eventually the water's going to run out. Shout out to Main TV getting the ball rolling tonight. Main TV in the building, man. Shout out to you, man. Make sure you support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, man. We gonna bring you this news tonight, man, like nobody else, man. If you new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble, man. Rumble in the building, man. Let's go.
Firefight with multiple fire hydrants.
And his sister, man. Every time I see a sister doing sign language, I think of that one black lady that was faking, man. She was up there just doing anything, man. She remember that crazy black lady got there? I don't know what it was. Was it like a hurricane or something down in Florida or somewhere down there? You know, she duped them into hiring her as a sign language interpreter. She was up there doing anything, man. Deaf people was calling in like, what the hell is that lady talking about, man?
Just drawing water from the system for several hours is unsustainable.
Water! Officials say they weren't able to fill tanks fast enough, which would have helped with the water pressure. Something NBC's Morgan Chesky saw firsthand.
Out of every fire hydrant you've seen, what have you found? Right now, we're finding most of them are down or low pressure. If you had a hydrant for this building, if we had a hydrant for this building, we might have been able to save the back out.
This apartment complex is untouched for now, but you can see how close those flames are. Firefighters are making their way up. Again, they're having to ignore massive structures like this huge apartment complex. It looks like it's going to go up imminently because they are just overwhelmed. There isn't enough water up here.
The winds also grounding that critical support from the sky for most of the day. And when firefighters were able to make a stand and save a home, there was no victory. Just a brief reprieve from the helplessness of fighting fire against the wind.
Gotti, I feel like you really took us into what it is like there. This devastation goes well beyond the homes destroyed in Pacific Palisades.
Yeah, well beyond the homes. The scope of this is so difficult to comprehend. We've seen schools, we have seen synagogues, we've seen churches here along the Palisades. This is the heart of the Palisades. You've got a restaurant, down to the banks here in the Palisades have been reduced to ash. And unfortunately, we've been in the neighborhoods above, below, and to each side of the heart of the Palisades. And so far, they're saying about 1,000. That's a preliminary number, 1,000 structures lost. We can tell you that number is going to climb significantly. Lester.
All right, Gotti, thank you. Until today, it was hard to imagine destruction on this scale. Today, our Liz Croyt saw some of the worst of it.
A massive and deadly wildfire emergency is unfolding in Southern California. From the Pacific Palisades to Pasadena, multiple infernos continuing mass destruction of homes and businesses. Tens of thousands forced to evacuate.
Last night was one of the most devastating and terrifying nights that we've seen in any part of our city at any part of our history.
On the coast, the Palisades fire exploding to more than 15,000 acres. 75-mile-per-hour winds overnight, pushing the flames up the Pacific Coast Highway, where it overtook the iconic city of Malibu and created this apocalyptic scene stretching for miles on the California coast.
We're watching multiple beachfront properties here just go up in flames. First responders trying to get a hold of the fires. All the neighboring properties here destroyed as the winds are picking up.
In the Pacific Palisades, officials say at least 1,000 structures lost. Across Southern California, high winds and protected power shutoffs have left more than 1 million people in the dark. At the Eaton fire burning in Altadena, 45 minutes from the coast, at least 5 people have died and more than 100 structures destroyed. As wind-whipped embers expanded the fire's path, it forced the evacuation of this assisted living facility.
You'll see the people on stretchers and just the effort, very rapid effort to try to get these people out of harm's way.
For many, the race to get out was by any means necessary.
Which is your house?
Yeah, this is our house. Backyard's on fire. I'm out of here.
Some of the most expensive real estate in the world reduced to rubble on Pacific Coast Highway.
Here at PCH, home after home after home of beachfront properties are destroyed. Usually you would see the Pacific Ocean there. Now it's just ashes and smoke.
As fires still burn, officials urging residents not to ignore evacuation orders.
A high number of significant injuries to residents who did not evacuate, in addition to first responders who were on the fire line.
Today, President Biden meeting with local officials, including Governor Gavin Newsom, who toured the destruction.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
The closest approximation was Paradise, California, which is one of the most deadly fires in U.S. history. But at this stage, a little over 24 hours, nothing comes close.
Tonight, thousands displaced with the flames still threatening homes.
This is the garage.
In Malibu, Steve Wiggins says he tried everything to save his.
So I kept spraying all the embers, and then the next thing I know, a 30-foot wall of fire was coming at 60 miles an hour, and I couldn't see, and it was so smoky, and I said, well, it's time to leave.
He came back today to find nothing.
We lost everything we owned, but...
Yeah, that sucks, man. Like, I listen, man, that's fucking sucks, dog. Like, everything you own, like, everything, your high school yearbook, you know, clothes, your kids' baby pictures. You look, this sucks, man. This is horrible, man. I feel for these people, man. And it happened so fast, and it could have all been avoided, man. And we're gonna get into what caused this, man. We're gonna get into what caused this, and it's not what you think. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit the like button. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Sponsor the show, guys, man. Salute to Pamela Henderson, man. Sponsor the show. Let's see if we can get some new people on the board tonight, man. Let's see if we get some people that never donate on the board tonight, man.
Thing to save his.
So I kept spraying all the embers, and then the next thing I know, a 30-foot wall of fire was coming at 60 miles an hour, and I couldn't see, and it was so smoky, and I said, well, it's time to leave.
He came back today to find nothing.
We lost everything we owned, but whew,
God,
it doesn't even look like a house anymore. It just looks like something.
A lot of heartbreak, Liz. The fire threat still very active tonight.
It really is, Lester. In fact, here in Malibu, you can see these crews continuing to work here as they try to put out the flames that are beginning to consume this home here on the coast. Millions across LA are on alert right now, with some evacuation orders even issued in Santa Monica, with red flag warnings continuing through at least Friday. Lester.
Yeah, man. You know I'm gonna make sure they don't burn down the KFC, man. I'm gonna be down there with a garden hose, man, and a bucket of water, man. Salute to my man, not Jimmy Stewart in the building. Not Jimmy Stewart. Salute to you, man. Shout out to you, bro.
All right, Liz Kreutz, thanks. We want to give you a lay of the land now as to where all this is happening and look at why resources may be so stretched. Los Angeles County is the most populous county in the nation, with major urban centers, sparkling beach communities, and rugged mountains. Pacific Palisades, where the first fire broke out yesterday, sits on the coast, Malibu to its north, iconic Santa Monica to its south. Moving inland 25 miles to the north and east of the Palisades is the Sylmar area. That's where the Hearst fire is burning. And then another 25 miles southeast from there is Altadena near Pasadena, where the deadly Eaton fire is raging tonight and where we find our Steve Patterson. Steve, good evening.
Lester, the air quality here has been miserable for now more than 24 hours. You can feel it. And when the smoke bill is like this, it travels for miles. Area hospitals now filling up due to smoke inhalation, with experts saying the best thing you can do is to stay inside. And even then, if you have an air purifier, use one. If you have to be out in this, wet rags and surgical masks will not work. You need an N95 with a purifier. Today, the air quality index, or AQI, reached more than 300. That's hazardous to everyone, not just the most at-risk groups. Lester?
All right. Thanks, Steve Patterson. Our colleagues at our NBC station in Los Angeles, KNBC, have been working nonstop for more than 24 hours covering this disaster. Their deep connection to those communities reflected in so much of their coverage, including this moment when reporter Michelle Valles was on the air as neighbors battled flames consuming the home next door.
This home next to it was on fire, and they were making gains here. They were making gains, and then all of a sudden the winds picked up. And you can just see how it's fueling the fire next door as these neighbors desperately try to keep their home from catching fire. So you're just helpless as you watch these people doing probably, you put yourself in their situation and
yeah, I mean, the delusion is you can't really call them delusional, man, because they're not just like losing. I mean, they're losing their house. Your house is all your stuff. Like, where else do you keep your stuff? I mean, some people have a storage container. I got a storage thing in DC, but there ain't really nothing in there valuable. It's just the old furniture that we didn't feel like putting in our house. You know, old furniture from like the 70s and shit. But everything you pretty much own is in your fucking house, man. Salute to Gene B, man. Gene B in the building, man. Shout out Gene B. Shout out to King, man. King C, man. Shout out to King Charles, man. He says, salute to you, my G. Great show and perspective. Yeah, man. This is these people that's on the roof trying to fight the fire with a garden hose, man. That's everything you own, man. All your shit gone. And you just gotta pick up the pieces and go on and collect more shit. Collect more stuff. Whoever seen that George Carlin stand-up bit on stuff versus shit? Press 1 if you've seen that George Carlin stand-up. Stuff, I think it's stuff versus shit. Your stuff is my stuff is stuff, and my shit is stuff, and your stuff is shit. Something like that. That would be that's a good one to play now, man. Because these people losing all their stuff.
Helpless as you watch these people doing probably you put yourself in their situation and it's really dark and it's really fiery here. There's a lot of explosions and there's just no help in sight, and you're just wondering when this is all going to end. Riverside County, please stop. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Praise the Lord. I mean, they're going to really douse this fire here.
An amazing television moment and certainly an amazing moment of humanity. Let me bring in Al Roker now. Al, what are the conditions that help fuel these fires? Is there any sense and sign of relief?
There is some relief coming, Lester. We saw those air flights resume because the winds have died down. The biggest problem is since October 1st, they've gotten less than 10% of their average rainfall. The good news is this high pressure, low pressure combo that has been squeezing these Santa Ana winds out. That's been the problem. Well, now they're starting to move to the east and separate, so the winds are starting to die down. That's good news. In fact,
Al Roker been around for a long time, Jack. Golly, man, he been around about 50 years, man.
You can see those winds overnight coming down, the gusts into single digits in some spots. Now, the next thing we're worried about, that storm system in the southwest, that's going to cause 52 million people to be under winter storm warnings, advisories, watches. Snowfall amounts, Dallas 2 to 5, 3 to 6 in Tupelo, plus icing conditions stretching from Texas.
All right, man. Let me get into why this is all happening, man. Let me break down why this is all happening, man. For those of you, shout out to everybody joining us, man. If you're new, man, please subscribe. I'm gonna show you why this is happening, man. We need 100 likes to drop the link, man. 100 likes for the link, man. 100 likes for the link. So this is why this is all happening. They made a very concerted effort to diversify and brown up their fire department, man. Their main goal in LA was the brown there, was the brown, and then also what nobody talks is not only does the browning of it like make less firefighters because it discourages white men from applying, but you have to lax the standards. They had the test was deemed racist because the black candidates couldn't pass the test, so it was deemed racist. So they had to lax the test, and the women couldn't do the physical part of the test, so they had to lax the physical part. So you had to lax the mental part of the test for the blacks, and you had to lax the physical part of the test for the women. So Scott Jennings, man. Scott Jennings is he? You talk about somebody who came up, man. He used to be up there scared to talk on CNN. Now he basically runs shit over there, man.
You might have recall a news story from last year. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California, and the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters, and we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. So we have.
See, look, when they start chirping, they always start that chirp. They so rude. These bitches, I hate these whores. They're so rude. They're so rude. Like, let the man finish his statement. You rude. We need to complain to CNN. These bitches are rude, man. Very rude to the white men on the panel, man. They let a nigga get up there and say anything. Once a white man starts, blah, 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 blah. A conservative white man. Let me say a conservative white man.
Men as firefighters. So we have DEI, we have budget cuts. And yet, I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
They're not even saying anything. They're just going, they're drowning him out. It's like they have it's almost like those grooming gangs in England where they like, they have like a system and shit. Like once a conservative white dude start, everybody just stop, everybody, and then they just drown you out. Listen to these whores.
As firefighters. So we have DEI, we have budget cuts. And yet, I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
You can respond and then listen. I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is Black women. So let me be clear.
Yo, there's no. I've already debunked that. Asian women and white women are far more educated than black women. Black women are just enrolled in these schools more than their male counterpart. So compared to their male counterpart, black women are enrolled in colleges and universities and programs more than Asian women versus Asian men. That's what the study was. It never was that black women are the most educated. Are you fucking kidding? Black women are more educated than fucking Asian women. Are you serious? And nobody's gonna call her out on this bullshit study that she misread and misinterpreted.
Now, how much do you care what color the firefighters
you
are?
can respond and then.
Listen, I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women. So let me be clear. Because you are a woman, or because I know that some of the right has been sharing these photos of the fact that I believe that the fire chief may be a woman or something, that has nothing to do with it. We are looking at qualifications. What diversity, equity, and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified. And the fact that we want to, at a time when people are dying.
Look how no one interrupts her. This bitch gets to speak. This bitch told nothing but lies, and she gets to speak uninterrupted.
Decide that a country of immigrants is failing or people are dying because the same very people that built this country, because the last time I checked, y'all didn't say that anything was wrong with the White House, and I can promise you.
So here she go with the "we built this country." Yeah, a black slave was the foreman on the building of the White House. He was the architect. There was a black architect and a black foreman that helped build the White House. They was both slaves though, man.
Last time I checked, y'all didn't say that anything was wrong with the White House, and I can promise you it was my ancestors that built the White House. So listen, if we have been good enough to build this country, we are good enough to serve and die overseas, we are good enough to serve in other ways. And the fact that people actually decide that they want to engage in public service, whether it's sitting in Congress or whether it's serving on the fire department or the police department, should not be an issue. The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
If Scott didn't have to, if he didn't have to just play along with this shit, listen, man, don't do it, Scott. It ain't even worth it. She did it to herself. You don't even have to do it to her, man. She did it to herself, Scott.
Should not be an issue. The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just simply saying that as a matter of public policy in California, the main interest.
Pete, what he said. Pete, what she said. Pete, what he said right after she finished.
Act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just simply.
An issue. The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just
the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just
the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just
the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not. I'm just simply saying that as a matter of public policy in California, the main interest in the fire department lately has been in DEI programming and budget cuts, and now we have this massive fire.
Are we really? But Scott, are we really blaming the fire department? The people in the LA fire department.
No, I'm blaming the Democrats who run the state.
But the fire department right now, they are dealing with a historic fire. Okay,
and they have terrible leadership.
That is
Political
caused
leadership.
by climate, by the fact that it is extremely dry in the state of California, and they are fighting it in hurricane, tropical force winds in that state. So how is it anything to do with DEI? How is it anything to do with the fire department at all? They are doing their very best as far as I know.
Jesus Christ, you fucking capable black women.
Excuse me, can we help you?
I'm Captain Herrera with SFD. We got a call about smoke in the area.
This is a private event.
Fire in a public park is not private.
Up to Chokri Elliott. Just
Native American. The Native American and the Latina going at it, man. That's what you that's what you want to see when there's a fire, man. A Native American woman and a Latina, man. How many likes I got, man?
Excuse me, can we help you?
I'm Captain Herrera with SFD. We got a call about smoke in the area.
This is a private event.
Fire in a public park is not private.
Up to Chokri Elliott. Just give us a moment,
in a moment, this whole park will be on fire.
This is a controlled ceremony. We have a permit. Okay, please just stop. We are holding a prayer ceremony for an elder who is in ICU. It cannot be interrupted. You're gonna have to go through me and everybody in this path if you want to get back there.
If that permit's not here, we'll move whoever and whatever we need to do our job.
All right, time's up. I am begging you, please, just one more minute.
Look, ma'am, if you don't get out of our way, we're gonna have a
I'm telling you, they're gonna be here. Stop!
Hey, what are you doing?
We got a call about smoke.
I'm the one that called. This is a permitted ceremony.
So why'd you call it in?
I called because of that. Those people have a bunch of smoke bombs and fireworks. I was over there trying to tell them not to do anything stupid.
The white people. You snitching on the white people, man. Why you snitching on the white people, man? Yeah. The Native Americans was having a prayer circle, and the white people was shooting off fireworks at fucking 12 o'clock noon. The Native Americans had to snitch on them, man. Thank you, Native Americans, for snitching.
Hey, look, ma'am, if you got a call about smoke.
I'm the one that called. This is a permitted ceremony.
So why'd you call it in?
I called because of that. Those people have a bunch of smoke bombs and fireworks. I was over there trying to tell them not to do anything stupid.
You gotta be kidding me. Lieutenant, take Larson and Wiggins and take that fire out.
Excuse me, can we help?
Yeah, man. Snitches with wolves, man. Yeah, snitches with wolves. Stop snitching, man. Calls the police. Hey, calls the police, man. Hey, hello, meet my friend. Always be snitching. Hello, always be snitching. My name's Agnesh. Nice to meet you. Would you like to come to my teepee and smoke a peace pipe? Nah, man. You always be snitching, man. You always be snitching. Look at this guy, man. Snitching on the white people. The white people wasn't doing nothing, man. Scott. Let's see, man. Oh, yeah, this is...
Time of the 1.7 GP. Geez, I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not Black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it, and I was standing in line, and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line. And I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago. And she said, Wednesday. That is an example of my white privilege. It's
hell yeah. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. My couch is burning.
Hey, how many likes I got, man? How many likes I got? How many likes do I got, man? Hit the like button, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. 117. Continue to hit the like button, man. Continue to hit it, man. Don't stop. Get it, get it. Yo.
Heroic music in the background.
I broke out Pastor Manning last night. This is gonna make me have to break out Pastor Manning again.
We gotta look into the mind of a black man, Og.
Like, I mean, listen, man. First thing you do, man, the fire, man, is you try to beat it down, man. With like, you might have to grab your Gucci coat or something, and the first thing you see, beat it down. But if you're gonna use water, man, you don't use a cup. You get a bowl or a basin.
I think the critical question is, what's on fire here? Is it like his phone battery or something? Some fires, require different solutions.
He's sitting right there, and so maybe a cigarette.
It looks like it's shooting out.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. Looks like a phone or something to me.
Laughing at this shit. Ain't nothing funny.
A nervous laughter, I think.
He's gaming though. He's gaming, so they can see. I think they can fool.
Bro, I'm just taking the headset off at that point. I'm gonna check in with y'all in a minute. I'm not explaining that in the moment. Madden can wait. This is like Starship Troopers or some shit in the background. This fucking yeah, the chat can't help but notice there's no smoke alarm going off.
The battery died.
You just hear it chirp resignedly in the background.
He just completely missed the fire when he threw that water.
Okay. In the couch.
Oh shit!
What's with a cigarette or vape? What could have caused that fire? A cigarette? I don't know.
Plastic ass couch.
He just throwing everything that already got water liquid in it. Bro, you gotta be kidding me, bro. Oh, shit, man. Is there a part 2 of this video?
Odd Black fell off and is in the back.
Yeah, that got bad pretty quick.
Average full IQ variations among races and cultures worldwide. So the Bushmen and the Pygmies, they between 55 and 62.
Hey, so you know y'all aren't last.
Black sub-Saharan Africans between 67 and 71, and Caribbean too. So that's sub-Saharan Africa. So that's like all those little islands, St. Kitts, Jamaica, Dominica, all those little Haiti, those little islands. They got between 67 and 70. But then Black Americans are between 80 and 87, man. That admixture is a beast, yo. Shout out to the
power of the FBA.
Yeah, but I mean, they are literally, man. They are. I can see why they don't want to be associated with those ones, man.
With the Bushmen.
Well, wow. Hispanics, mestizos, 87. I mean, 80 to 87. 79 to 80. 79 to 88. Arabs, Middle Easterners, North Africans, 82 to 87. India. Wow, Indians have
They have no variation. They're all
that's
3.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, Indian in the UK and Hispanic in the United States have higher. Oh, okay, so when they get
it's
around
like
white
taking
people,
an Indian and putting them in a white country makes them smarter somehow.
yeah, white native Europeans and North Americans. So that I guess would be white North Americans between 98 and 103. China, East Asian, China, Korea, Hong Kong, Japan, Singapore, between 101 and 108. Indian in the U.S. between 102 and 112.
Check out the footnote. It says a little data, but generally upper caste.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a lot of admixture. Probably the ones that mix with the East. The East. What's that group that went over to India? The East. God damn it! I used to know it. The British that went over to India.
East India Company.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The Jews, Ashkenazi, they don't have any variation. They just 103. And then Ashkenazi, that's in Israel. And then when they come to the United States, they have Higher IQ. So yeah, man. Yikes, man. That's if you go to any of these places, you could tell. I mean, you could just look around and tell kind of like what the IQ is just by looking. Salute to Big Larry in the building, man. Shout out to Big Larry, man.
Yeah, I don't think I needed a chart to tell me this shit.
Yeah, and nobody does. All you need is to everybody knows that is. It's just the collective, like they talk about racist, scared of being called a racist and stuff like that. Wow. So yeah, man. Troubling times, man. We in the last days, man. I know people out there saying the last days there would be fires and rumors of wars and all this stuff, man.
Black mayors getting arrested for prostitution. And
yeah, man.
That's explicitly stated in the Revelations. Sun mayors will fall at the hand of the white devils.
Yeah, a star will fall upon the earth. Many stars will fall upon the earth.
Burning angels.
Yeah, man. I think that a black mayor getting caught for some wrongdoing. It was one yesterday I didn't even get to. Another sister superintendent that got caught. It's some funky stuff, man.
Have you seen the?
Right, we're now joined on the phone.
NYPD son sex stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. The one
that just keeps getting worse and worse. Like they just keep involving more and more sons every time they do a new update on that.
Yeah, but the mayor, he's surviving, man. That's crazy how he's surviving that shit. He's a tough guy, man, to survive that.
All right, we are now joined on the phone by LA City Council member Nithya Raman. She represents the area where the Sunset Fire is currently burning. Ms. Raman, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for helping us get the word out about this evacuation order.
Absolutely. Tell us what you would like our viewers to know about what's going on right now near Runyon Canyon.
I want to tell you that the Sunset Fire anchored in Runyon Canyon area is currently burning at 10 acres. We have an evacuation order in place that stretches from Laurel Canyon to the west, Mulholland to the north, the 101 freeway to the east, and Hollywood Boulevard to the south. Anyone in that area is under an evacuation order and they should leave immediately. They should leave calmly, they should take what they need, and they should follow orders from any LAFD or LAPD or official city personnel that they're seeing. I want everyone to monitor reliable news sources, including following updates at lafd.org/alerts and using, if they want to download an app called Watch Duty, that also gives you regular updates on where the evacuation perimeter is being extended if you are in nearby neighborhoods. I want also everyone to understand that this is a very serious issue. We have support from other jurisdictions and our own teams out there fighting this fire as effectively as possible, but the danger is very real, and residents in the area need to take this evacuation order seriously.
And I think they are taking it seriously. We had a reporter in Hollywood not too long ago, and he was in traffic and he was showing us some live photos that looked very orderly, of course. There was a lot of traffic on the streets there. Is there a place where people are congregating yet?
Yes.
Is there a place we can let people know if they want to go somewhere?
If people need a place to go, we are creating an evacuation shelter at the Pan Pacific Park Gymnasium, which is a city facility. It is at 7600 Beverly Boulevard. And we have our staff there, Rec and Parks and emergency operations staff there ready to greet people if they need that support. So once again, the evacuation site here is the Pan Pacific Gymnasium in Pan Pacific Park, which is at 7600 Beverly Boulevard.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And that's not too far from the Grove, lots of parking there. I've been in that park many times. Ms. Raman, we have our Mike Rogers here in studio as well. He just left moments ago to check on his dog who And you're also in the area, Mike. He's joining us our conversation, Nithya.
Yeah, and one thing, Councilwoman, while we're talking, I just wanted to let viewers know if they are still needing to get out of there, the best situation, because traffic is an absolute nightmare everywhere. Laurel Canyon to the south is a mess. Hollywood Boulevard's a mess. Sunset Boulevard is a mess. If people are leaving, the further south they can go and then go east or west if you need to, the better, because Sunset and Hollywood are totally jammed up. The other thing I want people to know is we look at this palm tree that's on fire from the chopper.
Yeah, that shit is insane, man. Do any of y'all know anybody out there?
My dad lives on the other side of where this is happening from. I mean, like on the other side of Los Angeles.
That shit's crazy, man.
You seen the video of Joe Rogan speaking about this happening?
Nah, Joe Rogan?
Like 2-3 years ago. He said that some shit like this could happen and like Los Angeles could catch fire so easily.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Well, that's Trump on Joe Rogan. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, man. Everybody hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you support the channel. Only channel you won't get news like this, man. Real news, man. News you can choose. Let's see what's going on here.
I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons that freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do. I talked to a fireman once.
Wow.
Yeah, this is legitimately scary, man.
And this is happening with us having fire departments. Think about like early man and shit when this happened.
Well, early man would not have been so densely congregated either.
Yeah, but whoever they wouldn't have been able to escape. They wouldn't have no cars, no beast of burden. Nothing, huh?
I just wonder, like, is there more dry now in January than it is during the summer?
I think it can be easily. I don't live out there, but I've been out there several times, and the vast majority of the time, regardless of the season, it was dry.
Yeah, and listen, let's be honest. The fire dries everything out. Like,
right.
Once there's that big inferno like that, everything doesn't have to be dry, but anything around it is dry. So it just continues drying out the next mile, then the next mile, and then it burns up that mile. Then the next mile's dried out. Then it burns up the next mile. So, I mean,
in the absence of a volume of water to deal with it, the only thing that stops it is nature, basically, or running out of things to burn.
Yeah, that's what stops it, running out of things to burn.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why do you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land. Water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean. their forest, meaning
They're not allowed to rake
up,
it.
get rid of the leaves, get rid of leaves that are sitting there for 5 years, and
We'll certainly get rid of the dead fall
and get rid of the trees that are fallen.
Yeah.
That are.
I liked the first part. That sounded reasonable.
Oh, let's hear from a brother, man. Shout out to this brother, man.
Last night, I had to evacuate my home in LA because of the fires, the effects of which you can see right above me. Upon reflecting, I remembered a conversation that Joe Rogan had with Donald Trump before the election about the state of wildfire management in California. It's very easy to think of wildfires as something that Mother Nature just inflicts upon us, but we have an influence over both the intensity and the frequency of these fires. And Donald Trump pointed out that there's two things that we've done in California that might be exaggerating the effects of these fires. The first is our policy around water management, and the second is our policy around clearing deadwood in our forests. Check this out.
Los Angeles, you can't get proper amounts of water.
Right.
And it's unbelievably expensive. And they're actually thinking about rationing water. Can you believe it? I was in the farm court country with some of the congressmen. We're driving up a highway. And I say, how come all this land is so barren? It's farmland. And it looked terrible. It was just brown and bad. I said, but there's always that little corner that's so green and beautiful. They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why do you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow.
Implemented what?
Just billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires.
Now let's look at specifically what Trump was referring to here. In 2023, California implemented what's called the Fall X2 policy. This is a policy that's designed to redirect water away from areas that endanger a specific species of fish called the Delta smelt. Proponents of this policy argue that the Delta smelt are important to indigenous populations, as well as important for the overall health of certain other endangered species in that area, like the Chinook salmon or killer whales. And that sounds good, but let's look at what the cost of protecting the Delta smelt actually is. In 2023, we dumped 195.5 billion gallons of water into the Pacific Ocean. That's water that could have been used for firefighting or watering farmlands. This is all happening while we're focusing on scarcity conservation-based policies, while we're dumping $200 million worth of water into the ocean to protect a relatively niche species. Now, that's how we've been wasting our water, but what about our forests?
And there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. When a tree falls down, after 18 months, it becomes very dry. It's like, like real firewood. It's bad. But when a tree is up, it sucks water. It's wet. I went to they had a couple of horrible forest fires in California. And I said, you get a lot of trees standing. Yes, they were healthy trees, sir. I said, with this intense heat, that you could see they were charred a little bit on the bottom, but they were going to be all right because they're soaking wet because they suck up the water, right? But when they fall, they're like, it's like lighting a match.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to clean. They call it maintain your forest. So I was with the head of Austria. He said, it's a shame. I see all those forest fires in California, and all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that are falling.
I think that's the real issue.
Environmentally, they don't want to do that. They said, it's got to be nature and all this stuff.
Is there some truth to Trump's claim? It turns out, yes. A 2024 study found that approximately 91.4 million dead trees were spread over 27.8 million hectares of land in California. Many people in the environmental lobby will argue that we need to preserve this deadwood actually because it contributes to the natural habitat that many endangered species rely upon. But here's an example of where trying to do good actually ends up doing bad. For approximately 10 years, there was an environmental lobby that opposed clearing deadwood in the Klamath National Forest because they were trying to protect the natural habitat of spotted owls and endangered species. It's caused a multi-year legal battle that ironically resolved itself when the Klamath National Forest ended up actually burning down because of the deadwood that they were trying to use to protect the spotted owl population. These kinds of misguided attempts to protect the environment in California not only keep on ruining the environment, it's ruining human lives.
So what do y'all think about that? The smelt, I just looked it up, man. It's like a little sardine, man. It's probably stuff that the big fish eat. You know what I mean? and then the big fish eat that, and then the bigger fish eat the fish that eat that. So it's like a chain effect.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those fish will migrate somewhere else.
Yeah, I was gonna say killer whales are pretty resourceful. Like orcas will find a way to eat fish.
It's just that California wants to always find some type of way to be all green and love Earth and all that yabbity dabbity bullshit, and it ends up biting them in the ass.
Wow.
Lives. And here's my personal frustration. California has the best land and the worst government in the United States. We have incompetent politicians who constantly focus on things that sound good while actually doing bad. And they focus on first-order consequences while ignoring second-order consequences. They constantly focus on popular slogans like needing to protect our environment and climate change and protecting the fish and protecting the trees while ignoring the second-order impact on humans. And ironically, like in the case of the spotted owls, in their attempt to protect endangered species, not only are they harming humans, oftentimes they're not even protecting the endangered species. And to take this a step further, I think California's government represents a dysfunctional, far-left worldview that is consistently not producing results, is just producing heated conversations. We spend more money on homelessness every year, while the amount of homeless people just keeps on increasing every year. We have reasonable people who are afraid to speak up because we don't want to be labeled as climate change deniers just for questioning some of these dysfunctional environmental protection policies. We have a governor in Gavin Newsom who left San Francisco a failed city and is slowly turning California into a failed state. This is the same governor, by the way, that during COVID recommended that we quarantine at home while he dined at the French Laundry. Ultimately, in moments of crisis like this, I am grateful that we have a government, but our government could be doing a lot better.
He ain't lying about the homeless.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if this happened in Bogalusa.
He ain't lying about the homelessness though. Like all that nonprofit, all that that's where all that money goes. It's to the nonprofit, and the nonprofit don't do shit, and then the government gets a kickback.
Let's check up on our mayor, man. America's mayor.
Can you believe he's 26 years old? He became the mayor at 23.
Everything about this story, it's like somebody wrote it.
It's like the Boondocks.
It's like the Boondocks. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Like if Riley became mayor.
Hey, Travers, I'm actually in Bogalusa. I'm right at City Hall where there's been a police presence since earlier this morning. Just moments ago, Bogalusa police had the entire street blocked off to driving traffic leading up to City Hall because just inside, Louisiana State Police are still inside investigating criminal charges against Bogalusa's 25-year-old mayor, who is now being arrested and charged with soliciting prostitutes, using drug money, among other crimes. Tyron Young, according to the Louisiana State Police, state troopers say the investigation not only uncovered a drug trafficking operation, but a network that supplied firearms to people who can legally own them, firearms tied to violent crimes. State police say Trung and 6 other suspects use social media to distribute drugs and collect payments. Now, the mayor and 6 other suspects are behind bars at the Washington Parish Jail, and that's where we find WDSU's reporter Brittany Verner with the latest details. Brittany?
Yeah, Shawana, as you just mentioned, we're outside of the Washington Parish Jail right now, and we're told that Mayor Trung has not been released yet. However, his bond has been set at $150,000. Now, the arrest of 25-year-old Tyron Trung, who is the current mayor of Bogalusa, has been the talk of the town. Even here in Washington Parish, a few people we spoke with heard about what happened and expressed their disappointments in hearing the allegations. Several others were also arrested as a part of that same drug trafficking investigation that Shawana just mentioned. Right now, Trung is facing multiple charges. The Attorney General says hearing these charges was sort of a letdown for everyone who's rooting for him.
I think it's a tragedy. You know, people had a lot of hopes in him as a young up-and-comer who might be able to.
He's so out of touch with the black
I think it's safe to say that if you get a 26-year-old dope slanging, pee pushing Sunman mayor with all his little homies in there acting a fool, you know, that white supremacy has really not got that much of a hold on this town. But they were saying that yesterday, if I recall from what you were playing.
I mean, dude, the bigger question is, has this guy ever ran a Popeyes as a manager? Like, I
runs a trap house.
I just don't understand how the city would vote for this man when he's never managed shit.
Well, you know,
I mean,
there's something about Bogalusa sun people that makes them do peculiar things down there. It could be the water.
Like, I don't
It's
understand.
crazy.
He never managed anything, dude.
It's crazy because if he would have, let's say nothing happened to him, he probably would have been the mayor for quite a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, the way he operated though, he wasn't like slick. He wasn't covert with his movements. It's like they was slanging on. I mean, I think when the full report comes out, it's gonna be way more crazy than like right now. We're just getting tidbits, but I bet we're gonna be like, yo,
yo, they said online.
Hearing these.
Right?
Yeah, he was on Instagram and shit.
Yeah, so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Charges was sort of a letdown for everyone who's rooting for him.
I think it's a tragedy. You know, people had a lot of hopes in him as a young up-and-comer who might be able to provide leadership. And certainly that area needs it. And I think it's just, you know, it's disappointing. It's beyond disappointing when a public official lets you down that way.
And we're hearing there is a council meeting tonight at 5:30, and this issue is expected to be discussed. So stick with WDSU, both on air and online, concerning the latest updates on what's discussed there. Reporting live in Washington Parish, Brittany Werner.
Wow, she looked way better than she did at the beginning of this goddamn story.
Better lighting, Hawk. Better lighting.
Yeah,
all in the wrong direction on the first part.
Yo, for real, what happened?
I mean, not saying that she looked bad at the beginning, but it just like
her makeup artist wasn't there that day.
Is this the same woman? Hold on.
Lisa Police, Bogalusa.
Wanda Jones, and who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this bitch? That's Shawanda
that way.
And we're hearing there is a council meeting tonight at 5:30, and this issue is expected to be discussed. So stick with WDSU, both on air and online, concerning the latest updates on what's discussed.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Yeah, but I'd like to ask you guys a question. If you guys had a choice of a mayor, Tiffany Henier or this guy?
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. He's out of office way quicker.
Yeah, get rid of Tiffany.
Ultimately, cost the city less.
Yeah, Tiffany Henier, man, she wild, man. This guy right here, man, he just left breadcrumbs.
I had to ask.
Honorable Trin Trong.
Shit, man. 23 years old. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
This is one of the most Sun stories I've ever heard.
Yo, this should sound like what was that show, Parks and Rec, when that guy got voted in to be the mayor at 18 and he wasted all the money on an ice skating rink.
That's the type of decisions they make. You know, what they say, your brain is, if you can't lock up some men because their brains ain't fully developed. Okay, but you can make them the mayor.
Oh, look, he issued a statement.
Just one day after Bogalusa's mayor was.
This guy right here, man.
Well, just one day after Bogalusa's mayor was released from jail, his staff says he's back at City Hall. Tyron Trung posted bail last night after he was booked on charges of drug
No shade.
Tap in.
trafficking, soliciting prostitutes, and unauthorized use of a car.
One other than post on social media, we really haven't heard a word from the mayor or from investigators. So Amelia Strahan went to Washington Parish to bring us the latest.
Do you have any comments?
No, we don't. No comment.
The morning after Bogalusa Mayor Tyron Trung was released from Washington Parish Jail, he posted this on Facebook, thanking his supporters and claiming his innocence.
He's innocent. He's not.
But he said, each morning since taking his job, have recited the first 3 verses of Psalm 27, and today is no different. I love this scripture so much that it was forever etched on my arm back in college. When you're cutting contracts, shutting down favors, and exerting influence, shaking up things, and exposing truths, you become a target. I pray that God reveals every person that had a hand in this, and there are many. I thank my family, friends, and the multitude of supporters.
He's innocent. He's not guilty of any charges, you know. And I'm going to back him to the end.
Washington Parish District Attorney Colin Sims said law enforcement was investigating a drug operation when they found evidence incriminating Trung.
But the evidence that was collected, the evidence that was reviewed, led to that incidentally.
With so many standing by the mayor's side, we wanted to know what
The
evidence
evidence that was collected led to that incidentally, so they weren't targeting him. He wasn't targeted. They didn't go after him. It was just like, oh shit, man.
His name kept popping up.
Oh my God, man. Jesus.
Watermelon Gate. It's only just
With
begun.
so many standing by the mayor's side, we wanted to know what evidence led investigators to Trung, where Trung's colleagues stand, and what the mayor himself had to say about the charges. Wednesday morning, we started with law enforcement, requesting court records and footage of the arrest. Next, we called each council member on the city's website. Only Councilmember Penny Douglas answered and promptly said no comment. And that's basically what we got from the mayor, too.
Less than 24 hours after posting bail, Bogalusa Mayor Tyron Trung posted on social media saying whoever thinks he's part of a drug trafficking operation is, quote, mistaken. So we came here to Bogalusa City Hall to ask him a few questions, but he didn't want to talk to us.
Our calls, texts, and Facebook messages to Trung went unanswered. We even stopped by his attorney's office, and the receptionist told us he would get back to us. For now, we don't know much more than when we started and are still looking for answers. Reporting from Bogalusa, Amelia Strahan, WWL, Louisiana.
At least 6 others were arrested on charges related to the alleged drug trafficking operation. Police say the alleged drug trafficking organization was using social media to sell illegal substances, including opioids and high-grade marijuana.
Look, if you think of Bogalusa as a watermelon, it's riddled with these little black seeds of corruption that need to be removed.
Yo. Oh God.
Wow. This is a setup.
Yeah, you pick the seeds out and the watermelon is good.
Yes, then you can enjoy the fruit of your labor, but not until the black seeds of corruption are gone.
They sell watermelon seedless now too. So.
A dream. I'll believe it when I see it.
No, but he came out of prison looking like Craig from Friday, man.
Yeah, don't care, not a care in the world. That's not appropriate behavior to come out. Like he's already like not striking the right chord. You know what I mean with his behavior. You gotta be present. You gotta act like it's serious. Don't come out smiling.
You should come out with the victory sign, in both hands.
You free now.
Let's see what this brother got to say, man.
And look, it's all starting to make sense now. If you are a black politician, at some point in your career, they need you to bow down and kiss the ring. They need to break you down, just like they break horses. They need to break you. They need to have you compromised. And we can even see that with the DA in New Orleans, Jason Williams. They broke him down. He bowed down and kissed the ring because he didn't want to go to jail. And we can also see that with the New York Attorney General, Letitia James.
Oh my God, these are two terrible examples, man.
Yeah, this guy's delusional.
Damn. Make sure let's see if we get some people to take the $5 challenge, man. Support the channel, man. We doing we giving the news, man. Least y'all can do is sponsor the show, man. Sponsor the show, guys, man. Support the channel.
She bowed down and kissed the ring. They got her compromised. They broke her down. They want to keep you controlled. They don't want you to fix the issues. But before we get to this story, let's go back to the past so I can show y'all what type of city we are dealing with. The 1919 Bogalusa, Louisiana sawmill killings were a result of racial tensions that arose during a labor strike at the Great Southern Lumber Company, the world's largest sawmill at the time. The workers went on strike. The company owners supported a white militia group and brought in black strike breakers to break the strike. 4 Union men were unalived in the Bogalusa sawmill killings. On August 31st, 1919, a mob of about 1,500 people shot an unalived black veteran, Lucius McCarthy, after accusing him of assaulting a white woman. The mob.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. That's so unique. You know, it's not like every one of these fucking situations is precipitated by the rape of a white woman. It's not like every single one is.
Yeah, but this guy had
allegedly.
This guy had to take it back to 1619 to prove a point.
What's the point? I don't see a point. Let's see.
Mob then dragged McCarthy's body through black neighborhoods and burned it in a bonfire. And look, at this time, all over the country in 1919, you had this going on. A lot of rebellions, a lot of fighting back, by our people. And that summer of 1919 was called the Red Summer. So if you go to Louisiana right now, you decide to stop in Bogalusa, Louisiana, talk to the locals, and they'll tell you it still feels like 1919. You still got most of those Caucasian people are racist, and they try to inflict their power on the black community. But let's get right into this story because I want to show y'all how crazy, how wild and how bold these people really are. This article is from 4WWL, Louisiana. The publish was updated at 10:15 p.m. on January 7, 2025. Bogalusa Mayor Tyron Trong released from jail. He was elected at 23 years old in 2022. He's now 25 years old. Bogalusa's mayor, Tyron Trong, is out of jail Tuesday night after an early morning arrest. Trong was booked on multiple charges, including drug trafficking and soliciting prostitutes. Officials say this was the result of months-long investigation into an organization that was selling drugs through social media. So look, I did my research because I don't like taking their word for anything. And I saw this. As soon as he got into office, he started firing police officers because he saw they were stealing hours. They was paying themselves more than they should be paid. And then there was a school shooting. So he decided to put lots of security in these schools. And then I saw something that was very important. Instead of worrying about the older people who were still stuck in 1919, he started putting his energy into the kids. He started focusing on the recreation because if the kids don't have nothing to do, of course they're going to get in trouble. And the last thing these racist people want to see is I'm talking about the youngest mayor.
Like people from other races, like what do you guys think of that? Because that's a common thing with black people. Like if there's a moment of boredom,
that's bullshit. Look at American Indians, man. American Hindus. You look at them. Those kids are locked up in their house most of their time, and maybe in the summertime they'll go out to the park or whatever. But no, that's BS. And if you look at statistics, them and the Asians are on top of the food chain.
Let's keep it a buck. Most of humanity manages to get through this pretty well, except for one particular group of people, honestly.
Of a city in Louisiana come in and really try to change what their, They want the poverty to happen. They want the crime.
Square head, man. Square head. This the dude from Bogalusa. Come up, square head. Hit the link, man.
Oh hell yeah.
Hit the link, square head.
Bogalusa glider. When I found out that man was a glider, I about did a double take.
Yeah, man. Hit the link, square head, man.
Sounds like you're bullying him.
Yeah, man. He down there on the ground. You can be our
That is a proximal glider.
You be our correspondent, man. Our correspondent on the ground in Bogalusa.
Maybe he'll be the next mayor of Bogalusa.
Oh yeah, good. That would be good.
They're gonna replace this young black man with a white dude. You out your mind? You out of your fucking mind? You don't know
well, they won't. Maybe they won't know. He can just do voice only
Shadow
speeches.
Man.
Voice of Bogalusa.
And then when they finally reveal him after he's elected, they'll be like, "Oh snap!"
He could pull a racial.
He said he don't know what he's talking about. Blacks outnumber white people 3-1 in Bogalusa.
I mean, the only way that this mayor situation could have happened in the first place, but yeah, I'm sure he's right.
No, he's absolutely right.
What's up, Crook County?
Yo, what's good, man? They own him, man, because he was, he's about to be the next fucking MLK, man.
The white power structure's got to buck break him, so that he falls in line.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. That's what they do. He came in and he was firing police officers, man. And that was the wake-up call for them to, everybody was going to get up on him, man. He got to kiss the ring.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense to fire all the cops if you're going to be running a drug ring.
That's what I was going to say.
What killed me was he wanted to fire his entire department, but he was going to let the fucking parish, he wanted the parish to take over. So, like, you're going to fire your department and you're going to run our resources thin from the parish because you don't want the police department? Because you want to buy drugs and sell it?
This is why St. George slid off from Baton Rouge, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They're tired of paying for the black criminality.
The crime, because all this stuff makes them money. If there's no crime, if there's no poverty, if there's no lack of education, how they go buy their new house? How they
Yo, this is 90, y'all, this is 97% of Sunday, by the way.
Right, this is not uncommon.
This is very common. I just had someone try to tell me, talk to me like this today.
Yeah, they need us to be poor and not have shit, and so that they can be rich.
They act like
how they go buy their new car?
Like they act like us going downtown in fucking major cities and hunting their women and beating the shit out of them is what they want. Like they want us to fucking make
part of
the
the
subway
plan.
rides uncomfortable, and they want us to fucking carjack people and them. Like they enjoy that shit or something. Like, hey, we need that carjack. Hey, carjack me, shoot my fucking mom, so I can fucking be successful.
Yeah,
make
it so my kids can't go to the public school anymore.
Right, but I still got to pay for it majority of the time. While you complain about you pay taxes and your salary and all this other shit, but you live in fucking for free.
Don't forget paying for put the guns down.
How they gonna take those lavish vacations they want to take? They need the crime to go up. They don't need you to fix anything. My job as a DA is to prosecute based upon evidence and evidence alone. I don't care who it is. District Attorney Colin Sims said, despite the alleged evidence, the arrest isn't sitting with the community. Now, look, I'm going to say this. If the community is speaking positive of you, you're doing something right, because a lot of times you'll see, they bring up a mayor, especially a black mayor, and all the black people be like, man, look, he's bullshit. He's a coon. He's this and that. But these people are speaking about him, on a positive level. And he been the mayor over 2 years. This mayor is trying to straighten things out and make things better, said Bogalusa resident Rebecca Farrell. The crooks don't want him to take over. They want to keep doing what they're doing. They don't like him because he's doing what's right. Another Bogalusa resident, Keith Merrill, says Mayor Trong is being singled out. They didn't like him exposing them, so this here is retaliation. I said it and I'll say it again. It's backlash from him standing up for what was right and exposing these good old boys. See, look, when he was elected, just because he was 23 years old, they thought he was a dummy. They thought, okay, we can run over him. Okay, the people came out and voted for who they wanted for, who they wanted to vote for. We can run over him. He's young, he's dumb, he don't know what's going on. But they was wrong. And like I told you, when the people are speaking positive of you, you're doing something right. Because that's one thing the people not going to do. They not going to sugarcoat anything. They not go hide. They not go pacify you. So he has to be doing something right. And then about 8 months ago to a year ago, you had somebody online. It was a 51-year-old Caucasian male that threatened him, that threatened to unalive him. If you know anything about Bogalusa, Louisiana, the KKK is strong there. The KKK was strong. It's always been strong there. So they took that seriously. And the 51-year-old Caucasian male got arrested. And then when he got into office, everything was messed up. They wouldn't get no money from the state because they didn't do their audit right. Everything. So he had to come in and fix all of that stuff. And they wouldn't expect
Maybe there's a reason that white man was
actually
so
fix
mad.
that stuff. But when it comes to our people, we used to dealing with problems. We used to fixing things.
We used to.
Wow.
Are you surprised that the audit wasn't right?
No.
Couldn't get our check
23
right
years
because they
old.
said we didn't do the audit. Damn.
23 years old. Your ass probably wasn't even your class president in high school. You a mayor, and you want the audit to be correct to get the state funds. Y'all thought it was gonna be right. Get the fuck out of here. The state should have took over like they did in Tennessee and Memphis when they told their ass they couldn't pass them dumbass laws and they got pissed.
Yeah, man. This is somebody on the ground. We need our correspondent on the ground. Anybody from Bogalusa, man, hit the link, man. Come on up, man. If you're from Bogalusa, if you're from the Loose, go ahead.
I was just wondering, what's the percentage of the black to white police officers in Bogalusa?
Oh, I will look into that. Salute to. It looked like, from what I saw, it looked like a lot of them was white, but salute to.
They probably
my
only
man,
got like
Fred.
10. They probably only got like 10.
Meanwhile,
or
in
8
Bogalusa,
officers.
violent crime is at 276% in excess of the national average. It has a F rating in
And
every
then you had
grade.
this attorney.
Oh, area vibes. Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
I'm sure they got
Attorney General of Louisiana,
let's fire the
Liz
entire
Murrow.
police department.
She's on the news saying, "Oh, we're so disappointed." I'm like, disappointed? He's not even guilty. They didn't say he's guilty yet. What you mean disappointed? These people do not want you to fix up their community. And this doesn't just happen in Bogalusa, Louisiana. It happens all over America. That's why people say, "Oh man, the black community, this black." Look, what you want people to do when they try to fix it, they ruin it.
Oh, come on now.
When these mayors try to
bunch of white guys
fix things up, the people in power that's going against them, that don't like black people, they ruin it on purpose because they can't have crime going down. They need crime to keep going up because the more crime go up, the more money they make. And see, look, they gotta mess up your reputation. They have to mess up your character. They want people to look at you crazy. So they gotta say you're buying prostitutes. Tell me, especially in Louisiana, especially you from Louisiana, tell me how many dirty cops you have met. That's all they talk about. Those Caucasian cops in Louisiana, that's all they talk about. You don't think they buying cat? You don't think they selling drugs? Come on, man.
Because he
And
talks
I'm
to
gonna
so
say
many
this:
police
just
officers.
because they don't wear robes, don't mean they're not the KKK. Most of those, I'm not gonna say all of them. Most of those Caucasian cops in Louisiana are a part of the KKK.
most of them. So if you got what?
Not all, but not all.
If you got like what 20,000 cops in Louisiana, or let's say 25,000 cops in Louisiana. I don't know, probably 20, something less than that. But the majority of them with the KKK.
Yeah,
So this is their way of getting a young black man.
It probably ain't that many KKK members.
Hey,
in the
now
whole-
look, all you gotta do is monitor the days that majority of the officers are taking off, man, for they can make the meeting, man.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. So one of them gonna accidentally wear their hood to work,
Logistics
man.
is a bitch for that
Do a
organization.
rush, man. Oh shit, I was in the rush, man. My bad.
The sheriff is the grand wizard.
Shit is crazy, man.
Black man out of position of power because they don't want him to be reelected again. Because if he's reelected again, he's gonna fix the issues. Matter of fact, check this out. The DA said we are going to continue to invest time and resources into helping the citizens of Bogalusa. We are not finished. And I said, okay, if that's true, then why does Louisiana has one of the highest rates of black incarcerated in the U.S.? Black people in Louisiana are incarcerated at the rate of 3.5 times higher than white people. Incarcerated demographic. While black people make up 33% of Louisiana's population, they make up 67% of people in prison. Look, in the correctional field in Louisiana, let me tell you how these people make their money. The more black
How do you know about the correctional field in Louisiana?
Yeah, you have some experience with that, brother?
He's got a wide range of experience on a lot of different angles of this.
He had to give up his cornbread.
The more they get paid. They're not trying to fix crime. They're not trying to fix the educational system. They're not trying to fix none of that. They trying to go on vacations. They try to eat their crawfish in peace. They trying to have their big house out in the field.
And not
That's
get killed
it.
by y'all.
And yeah, they also make money with working people to death, making you work 7 days a week just to afford life. That's how they make their money in Louisiana. And I say, look, you know how Caucasian people, they still have their people back when they commit crimes? I say, look, we have to have our people's back.
This motherfucker.
Even when they saying this.
Yo, this shit is just so fucking delusional, dog. It's making me mad. Hey, I feel like would the number still be like 63 to whatever percent if they only arrested some men for murders? That's the only time that you went to prison was murder. We'll still be fucking overrepresented.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, everything he says, it's actually the opposite. The reality of what he says is the opposite.
And this about them. If we hear the people in the community saying they creating change, we have to have their back because with Caucasian, well, they can come in and unalive 30 people in the building. The people are still going to send them funds to help them in court. They still going to support them. In America,
man, this guy, dude, like there's so much change in Baltimore, so much change in Detroit. Oh man. So the change is so great in Detroit that I might just move over there, Ak.
Yeah, I heard. I did hear
summer home.
Detroit.
A summer home in Bogalusa.
This Bogalusa, man.
Yikes.
Boga.
Have my
Way
kids
down south in the land of cotton.
Shit, have my kids in Baltimore's education and have them not learn how to read at all. You know?
Yeah, Bogalusa might have a higher literacy rate than Baltimore.
Yeah, probably. No, I doubt.
Which has the most black people? Baltimore 65% black. So it just depends on the. That's really like all that you need to know.
Damn, bro. Look at this shit. Not a 2-story house in sight.
47% apparently.
47? Yeah. They probably do have a higher education.
They have more white people per capita.
I'm surprised I haven't seen a grill.
I'm surprised I ain't seen no Habitat for Humanity houses with fucking gliders just building free houses for these motherfuckers.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any white cops abusing sunmen out here.
All the charred crosses, man.
Yeah, I thought the Klan ran wild out there, man. You would think that the motherfuckers would be having like a goddamn roll call or some shit in the open field.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That Cadillac costs more than that house.
Stop the violence, it says on the wall.
Oh shit, bro, that
shit.
shit
The Klan
everywhere,
went out
bro.
there and did that like on a field day.
No, they're talking about the Klan. They're talking about Klan violence, man.
Oh
yeah.
How much you think is some property out there, man?
Yeah, go buy the whole fucking town for probably fucking 100,000
in a
Get
crack
you
bag. in a
35
bag of crack.
All you gotta do is get a mayor a kilo.
And a hooker.
These some old retarded fucking Southern niggas, man. I don't want to live around these niggas. God damn.
Play a pimp.
Look at this shit, man. Oh, well, nice manicured lawn there, man. White person.
That lawn look nice.
Black person.
And then back to the patches.
Wow. Unbelievable.
This is like what when Jameis Winston had his little thing when he went home to his grandma's house or some shit. That's how that shit.
Let's see some news stories out of Bogalusa, man.
Oh, look, 8 years ago.
I was so lucky because I thought something's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I was scared.
And with good reason. Just minutes before
squareheads in the back,
night, two masked men walked into the thrifty shop in Bogalusa, one armed with a pipe. This unprovoked and savage beating on an employee caught on the security camera.
Squarehead is in the back.
Suspected assailant attacked
Squarehead
the scene.
I hit him.
Maybe he was in this
times,
video.
And I keep fighting him, and he keep fighting me. And then when he saw me, I snatched his mask from his face, and I saw his face.
What's up, Squarehead, man?
Not a whole lot was happening.
Ain't shit, man. Ain't shit. What's cracking, man?
Man, it's wild around here. If you go back and look a couple months ago, they had a dude worked in the paper mill. A brother was prostituting a security guard in there. And then a couple women from Slidell to a couple high rollers in the mill, some big bosses. Well, he got caught. He's who basically rolled over on the mayor. Now, on top of that, the same dude him and the mayor got together and they decided to, they got the trucks go around spray for mosquitoes here in the South. Well, he was going to create his own company claiming he did that and stole like a banner or something from a company out of South Louisiana. And when he did, they ended up getting caught. And because like the company was somehow billing Bogalusa, even though they didn't have the contract, it was through the dude and he used their information. Well, him and the mayor had something going on where he was throwing kickbacks to the mayor. If you look not long ago, he was questioned by the state capitol. Do you know this guy? And he clearly said no. He threw old boy under the bus. So he basically told him, well, you threw me under the bus for this, I'm going to throw you under the bus for the prostitution. And that's how it all come out. That's where it all got started. The state needed a reason to go in and get the paperwork out of the city hall so they can look and prove that them two knew each other. The mayor fired everybody that had been with the city a long time. Like you had two guys that were white that worked for the city that were bosses. They were the only ones that knew how to operate the heavy equipment in town, like your backhoes, everything. When he fired them, he had to start hiring contractors to dig because those guys ended up leaving, going to find other jobs everywhere. He ain't done nothing but ruin this city. And that dude talking about the KKK, and I've been a KKK around Bogalusa in years.
So those were the only two guys in town that could dig holes.
Those were the only two that worked for the city.
Right.
That knew how to
on an
operate.
industrial scale.
Right.
Not a good idea.
So did they provide any reason why they fired those two guys?
He demoted them and hired 3 people of color that were all cousins. They were all Buchanans and they related to him. He did it claiming he was going to make the city better and this and that. It's all a bunch of shit, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Damn, that's crazy.
This guy right here.
Breaking news out of Bogalusa as police identify a suspect in the shooting earlier this month outside of a Bogalusa
Is this
high
the
school.
clan, man? Is this the Bogalusa clan?
That's exactly who the clan is. Them young brothers right there shooting up everybody.
Jamarius, man. Jesus.
Basketball game.
Jimmer for
Texans
that.
want to know if you've seen 18-year-old Jamarius Smith. He faces several charges, including attempted murder. The January 11th shooting killed a 14-year-old boy and injured a 12-year-old. Smith is the 5th suspect identified in the case. So far, police have arrested 2 adults and 2 juveniles.
Yeah.
There's all kind of stuff. Even like you got like insider trading. You can have that with property, like in Bogalusa. A lot of your old white people, when they died, the ones that had kids move off, they didn't want the houses and the property inside the city limits because, it's just taken over. Used to, you had some neighborhoods that were still kind of nice or whatever. Like the one my fiance lives in, it's went to complete, don't know, ain't no nice way to say it, but shit. It went, now you crackheads walk up and down the road all the time in front of the house, and you hate to say it, it's them. They moved in and there goes the neighborhood. It's simple fact. The old black man crossed the street, the black people. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Oh, okay.
The old black man lived across the street, cool as hell. He had a white Ford F-150. They went and crawled under his truck, stole his spare tire in the middle of the night, and they just don't care over here, man. It's 3-1 black versus white in Bogalusa city limits.
Interesting statistic, because it says here on this website you have a 1 in 4 chance of being the victim of a crime in East Bogalusa.
He hit that shit right on the head.
Yeah, eerily similar.
And like y'all were asking earlier about the black-white ratio with the PD, there ain't, like you said, about 10 cops. The chief is black. They did bring him back. He was retired. You have a couple cops that are black, not very many. Most of them are, you don't even, like at one time you had about half and half or close to it, but most of the older ones retired. You mostly got young military age kids that just got out of the military. You got a couple that's half and half, some that's white. Not very many young kids around here that are black are going to want to be a cop. That's a simple fact. It ain't. But they don't just go around looking for black people to be arresting and harassing and all this because they don't want the lawsuits.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
That's like my employer. They'll scream racism there.
Louisiana State Police are.
Go ahead.
I'm out of here, guys.
They're
Good
owned
night.
by a minority gay company. Well, technically, a big company owned them. And when they won the contract for the government again, Biden and Kamala said, even though you won the 10-year contract, to keep it, you're going to have to give so many of your sites to a small minority company, which they did. And the management was already, I would say, of color in there to begin with. The lady that runs it's that 90% of the job below her is of color, and they'll scream that shit in there. And man, they let them young kids run through there. They get mad when they get fired for having weed in the building. The shit they do is wild. These kids just don't care. They give you all the time off in the world you want, but these people will have 150 to 500 hours against them where they don't even want to come to work, but it's an act of Congress to get rid of them.
Jesus.
Louisiana State Police are investigating a threat on the life of Bogalusa's mayor.
The mayor, who was just elected last fall, says the threat is based on his race. The story from WGNO's Zach Labe.
The mayor of Bogalusa held a press conference Thursday after receiving what he said are death threats and hate mail.
Yeah, the mayor better watch it because this is a black person wrote that. I already tell a black person wrote that because even uneducated white people have a different, a different just rhythm to write. Yeah, the mayor better watch it because he ain't too far from Lake Pontchartrain. When he gets off in the evening, he might be taking a little ride.
I can tell you who probably wrote it was their last name is Cates, and she's now top city council. So only reason she's as dumb as they come. Her and her husband were both substitute teachers when I was in school. Her husband's his nickname and that what he had everybody call him in school was Shadow Man. And he tried to make several people famous rappers when I was in school. They got a song, it's called The City of Dope, if you can ever find it. and he was the producer.
Oh,
of it.
that shit probably gold. Oh, that shit is probably
A
gold.
couple days ago, a death threat on my life was brought to my attention by concerned citizens.
But the mayor says it goes further than that. He, along with the members of the Washington Parish NAACP, are calling the threat racially motivated.
This threat has to be taken seriously, not only because of Bogalusa's history, but because of the South's past. This particular threat has a racial undertone, alluding to how black men's bodies were dumped in bodies of water in the South by terrorists decades ago.
We would not tolerate bullying and intimidation tactics from the
oblique
public,
reference.
and it will be dealt with accordingly.
Threatening an elected official is a crime, and it's something that his administration says they're taking seriously.
I have filed a police report with the Bogalusa Police Department, and the District Attorney's Office and Louisiana State Police have opened an investigation.
The mayor says they're now increasing security.
Yeah, maybe you're regretting that
and
now.
calls on the people of Bogalusa to put an end to violence.
But we need all hands on deck. So get out and help us build a better Bogalusa.
Zach Labe, WGNO News.
And there have been multiple threats against the mayor, but he says he couldn't comment any further because of an ongoing investigation.
Man, there ain't nobody threatened that Joker. He ain't worth nobody's time. Scary ass little boy.
A 23-year-old, you heard that right, will become the next mayor of Bogalusa. Tyron Trong started his campaign because he just didn't like what he was seeing in the city.
Now he's positioned to do something about it. Mike McDaniel joining us now after speaking with the mayor-elect that it is quite impressive.
Yeah, he's excited. When I caught up with the mayor-elect a little earlier today, he said he was still letting this all sink in, really processing this victory here, and that his phone, it's constantly ringing and pushing all the notifications. He's a young, soon-to-be mayor.
Now we know
He says
why
he's
his phone
determined to make
ringing.
change.
And sharing our post. It took all of us to get here. This is our win tonight.
It was a speech Bogalusa Mayor-elect Tyron Trong wasn't sure he'd give Tuesday night.
Everybody kept saying it's going to be a runoff, it's going to be a runoff, so I prepared 2 speeches just in case.
When the numbers came in, it was the victory speech the 23-year-old used to thank supporters after a campaign he says was tough and often met with skepticism.
You always have to meet with community leaders. That's the first thing that you do with somebody who's running for office, and more than one laughed at me in my face when I said that I was running for mayor.
Trong says he's the youngest person to be elected mayor in Bogalusa and the second youngest statewide. He says his age doesn't weaken his ability.
I have experience working with people who differ in opinion. That's all of us. We all do. I think it's just a difference in how you handle it.
As student body president of Washington University in St. Louis, Trong decided to run for mayor after seeing people back home complain about quality of life, including crime, lack of youth programs, and struggling businesses. Those complaints are now priorities.
I just wanted to come home and make a difference, use my skill set to bring more to the table.
Voters made it possible. According to the Washington Parish Registrar of Voters Office, there are just more than 6,600 registered voters in Bogalusa. Just more than 3,100 of them voted. Trong picked up 56% of that, beating out 2 other candidates, including 8-year incumbent Wendy Perrette.
I am disappointed in the results, of course, but it's obvious that God has a different plan for me, and I'm at peace with that.
In a concession statement on election night, Perrette questioned whether Trong has the skill set to lead and unite the city, but is hopeful he will.
I would like for this to be a smooth transition. It's best for all of our citizens.
Trong knows there are challenges ahead, especially with the city's recent spike in crime. He wants his election to be a turning point.
I think that the only way to improve Bogalusa was to take our city in a new direction with new leadership.
Trong currently works in policy at the Urban League of Louisiana. That's a nonprofit.
Hey, that lady busted her ass and got us into the million plus in the positives for the first time in years. It was getting closer to $3 million on the plus side, and that joker had it all spent in less than a year. He built a dog park in town, paid 3 different sets of brothers $20,000 a piece to clear the property on this not even half an acre, and they all had to give him $4,000 back in cash. And this is the black people telling this. I mean, the black people they've talked to that praised him are the ones that's his family and friends. They ain't many black people happy with him either. I got one I worked with when I walked in this morning. That joker was doing the Fred Sanford dance. He was so glad that son was in trouble. He can't stand it.
Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP. coming through once again.
Hey, do we have any good mayors? Like, it's just like it's literally every fucking. It's like all of us, every politician that just a son man or a son woman is just like it's the same story over and over and over and over again.
I
The
don't.
dude from Atlanta, is he still on the up and up? The Atlanta dude,
Joe Dickens, whatever his name is.
yeah. I didn't hear any scandals on him yet.
And Cory Booker.
I mean, but the
Cory
DA
Booker.
there, the oh god, the Fulton County DA is kind of like hamstrung right now because so you don't know if he's really doing anything because the DA is in trouble. Fannie Willis, man. So we gotta wait till they get a new DA to see if that son man in Atlanta is really doing on the up and up.
Yeah, that move is the city council's decision to freeze city spending. The mayor of the town, Tyron Trong, says he'll be pressing charges because he doesn't take threats lightly.
Yeah, so I've really struggled with the decision, but I've chosen to move ahead and press charges because we have to set an example and let our kids know that this type of behavior is not okay.
Things got heated at Tuesday night's Bogalusa City Council meeting when agenda item number 8 came up, discussing a city spending freeze.
I heard what I heard. We were going back and forth about why we shouldn't implement the freeze. And a council person got up and stated, I don't have time for this. So they walked out, and on their way out the door, turned around and said, I got a double loaded shotgun.
That alleged threat made by Councilwoman Penny Douglas, catching everyone in attendance off guard.
Yeah, that was wrong. Council Lady at Large talking about a double barrel shotgun, making threats towards the mayor. I think that she need to be removed from office.
The ordinance
She's black.
ultimately passed by Bogalusa City Council.
I thought it was a white man.
Anything outside of basic public safety, so fire and police, is pretty much shut down. So any recreation, any park activities, any community development that isn't essential to city operation, the whole 9 yards.
That freeze includes non-essential costs that help keep the police and fire departments running. The mayor says it would ask overtime for city employees. It would also take away youth recreation programs.
I thought he was for the kids. Didn't they say that?
Mm-hmm.
He was
definitely
for
away.
programs.
Hey, that one they were just questioning, the one just talking on the news, I kid you not, his entire school career, he was in special ed. But they got him on the news asking him questions.
I believe it. I 100%.
Yeah, all day long, special ed, for sure. I kid you not, I went to school with him.
It seems like they interview him a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
The ordinance ultimately passed.
He like hangs out down by City Hall or something.
Yo, Squarehead is an expert with
I
this.
think that she need to be removed from office.
The ordinance ultimately.
He probably got arrested with the mayor in the drug ring.
I doubt it.
Running. The mayor says it would ask overtime for city employees. It would also take away youth recreation programs, initiatives he says he's worked tirelessly for the children in Bogalusa. Council members declined to talk on camera, but tell WDSU the town is on the non-compliance list after its 2022 audit was not completed. An audit the mayor says should have been done prior to him taking office.
Documents were shredded, cameras were wiped before we got here, and we've turned all of that over to the legislative auditor's office.
He tried to blame everything on Wendy. He still ain't submitted a budget to the state.
By the city council. It's something Mayor Trong says he will fight. Now, we did reach out to the city council members of Bogalusa as well as Councilwoman Douglas for comment and have not heard back. Reporting from Bogalusa, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
Hey, since he's been in office, there's one corner of town they actually beautified. You got to drive into the very deep, what they call the bottom, and it's called the bottom for a reason. It's where all the drug dealers used to stand and sell drugs. They put up some of the prettiest signs and beautified the corner with flower beds, and it says Church Street. And where else are they going to have a street called Church Street other than in the hood? I mean, it's simple fact. It just don't make no damn sense. Right by Martin Luther King.
Hey man, hey, what channel can y'all get an inside scoop on Bogalusa Louisiana,
This is
man.
the high drama in Bogalusa.
Bruh,
Yeah,
high drama in
you better
Bogalusa,
fucking
inside
donate to
scoop,
this.
bruh. Donate to this shit, like the video,
Yeah, man.
subscribe. This is crazy.
Support
Inside
the
scoop
channel.
of Bogalusa?
It's amazing. The
channel,
one of the
man.
smallest cities they is gets all this publicity with all this shit going on.
Take the $5 challenge. Support the channel, man. Support the channel, man. Coming on here every night, bringing y'all the nation of vodka. We haven't seen Squarehead up here in what 2 years, Squarehead?
It's been a while. My schedule had changed. I just got off early enough to start trying to do this.
Yeah, man. This is an old Ock Nation member from Bogalusa, man. We've been covering Bogalusa here for years, man. Let's see what I wonder. They got hoods like the hood. Like, do they got any rappers in Bogalusa?
Not since Jada Youngin got killed.
Jada Youngin was
Jada Youngin from Bogalusa?
Yeah, he got killed in Bogalusa. That's one of the, where they said they were tying guns to the streets where he was selling them online and putting it in people's hands. That's one of the people they saying where the gun was provided to the ones that got it.
So this is Jada Youngin right here.
He had that expensive ass car.
Jada Youngin was a rapper from Louisiana.
Yeah, this is him right here. Wow, that's crazy. He's been dead for 2 years. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
Jada Youngin was a rapper from Louisiana who was tragically killed on July 27th. He was only 24, lives a wild life that was full of ups and downs.
So this is Bogalusa, right? This is the clan.
He could have been the mayor.
Fascinating.
Well, I think Jada's like a year or two older than he is, if I remember right.
Wow.
Is the true story of Jada Youngin. On July 27th, police in Jay's hometown of Bogalusa, Louisiana, responded to a call of a shooting. When they pulled up to the scene, they found that one of the victims had already been rushed to a local hospital, and another victim was still at the site of the shooting in critical condition. While they were trying to figure out what went down, another shooting happened nearby, and police think they might be related. Later that night, the Bogalusa Police Department issued an update on Facebook confirming that Jada Youngin had been shot and killed, and one of his family members was the second victim. Jay's dad is allegedly the second victim, but it ain't been confirmed yet. Luckily, his family member survived and is in stable condition, but Jay tragically passed away. Before his death was confirmed, a woman who's allegedly Jay's sister hopped on Twitter and said the rumors about him dying was false. She wrote, "Shut up, y'all know what the y'all talking about for real." Then, "Ain't nobody dead, stop eating and go read a book." She topped it all off by writing, "I hate you internet freaking stop trying to confirm shit y'all don't fucking know, bullshit asses." Apparently, Jay was still alive at the time, but unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse and he passed later that night. The mayor of Bogalusa, Wendy Perrette, put out a statement asking for help from Jay's hood. She said, "The senseless shooting in Bogalusa is another tragic reminder of the pain that violent crime brings with it. My thoughts and prayers are with the victims' family and friends. As your mayor and as a mother, I plead on behalf of our community and our children. Today must mean enough is finally enough. Stop the violence. See something, say something." No one knows who was behind the shooting yet, but investigators on the case say that the violence was retaliatory. Jay been in trouble with the law in the past, and he actually just got out of prison in June for possession of a firearm under indictment. Jay blew up in the late 2010s after racking up millions of plays on SoundCloud. His debut project, Roughway, dropped in early 2017, built him a buzz in the local scene. Then, his track Interstate went viral on YouTube and hit over 4 million views in under a month. By this point, Jay already had enough momentum to be considered for XXL's 2018 freshman list. He stayed on his grind and dropped 3 more tapes: The Real Jumpman 23, Wake Up, and Taking Off. The track Elimination off of his 23 project ended up becoming his breakout single, racking up over 50 million plays on Spotify. His next project, Forever 23, pushed him even further into the spotlight, became his first mixtape to hit the Billboard 200 chart. By the end of 2019, Jay already dropped 10 mixtapes and was becoming one of the hottest new rappers in the South. But even though his career was popping off, he still had a foot in the streets and couldn't stay out of trouble. He ended up missing one of the biggest shows of his life after getting arrested in Florida. Jay was pulled over for speeding on May 11th, 2019 by the Florida Highway Patrol. The cops said they smelled weed, so they searched his whip and found 20 grams of weed, paraphernalia, and pills. Plus, one of the other people in the car had a gun on him. Jay ended up getting arrested and hit with a felony possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. He was out on bail the next day, but still had to cancel his set at Rolling Loud. Then in 2020, Jay was arrested again after he allegedly assaulted his old girl. She called the police and claimed they had a fight. Then Jay grabbed her hair and started punching her over and over. She was pregnant with their first kid at the time, but Jay also allegedly choked her till she damn near passed out. The police went to his crib in Houston, Texas, and raided the house. At first, they couldn't find Jay.
Seems like a great guy, man.
It just keeps getting better and better.
His daddy was a cool dude. His daddy ended up being a drunk though.
Dynamite guy here, man.
At least he got to have a kid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
he did.
Jay, but they did find 24 bands in cash, promethazine, oxycodone, and guns. Eventually, the cops found Jay hiding in his attic and booked him for assaulting a pregnant woman and illegal drug possession. Jay's ex later posted photos of her bruises on social media after getting into an argument with a rapper named Cuban Doll. His ex tagged Cuban Doll and said, "This what I'm blackmailing."
His the girl is fighting with Cuban Doll. Okay.
Photos of her bruises on social media after getting into an argument with a rapper named Cuban Doll. His ex tagged Cuban Doll and said, "This what I'm blackmailing them on? This what the little joke was about on live," with pics of her black eye and bruises on her neck and body. Even though Jay was arrested for assault, the two of them ended up getting back together pretty fast. Just a few weeks later, they both got arrested at an Airbnb in Georgia when cops found bottles of lean, pills, 11 guns, and over 2 bands in cash. They both got hit with narcotics possession, tampering with evidence, and possession of a weapon. But it ain't in there. Later that year, Jay got arrested for domestic violence again after he allegedly attacked his girlfriend. According to the police report, Jay punched, pushed, and grabbed her, which left visible marks and scars. The cops charged him with battery, family violence, and 3 felony fugitive from justice charges. Then, in August 2021, Jay got arrested for driving recklessly at a high speed with his passenger door open. When the cops pulled him over, they found a woman in the car with him and a baby on her lap without a seatbelt. They cited him for careless operation of a vehicle.
I'm
Yo,
fucking dying over here, man.
Yo, hold on. The justice system is so racist, bro. He throwing boulders at the penitentiary. He keep getting out the next day.
In multiple states too. Like this is all over.
Yeah,
They gotta keep the crime up, yo. They gotta keep the crime up.
Well, he like the rest of them, he got to whoop the woman because he can't whoop nobody else.
He beat his unborn child twice.
Yeah, that kid's gonna come out with his hands up like Mike Tyson.
You mean like Mike Brown?
Damn.
Charged him with battery, family violence, and 3 felony fugitive from justice charges. Then, in August 2021, Jay got arrested for driving recklessly at a high speed with his passenger door open. When the cops pulled him over, they found a woman in the car with him and a baby on her lap without a seatbelt. They cited him for careless operation of a vehicle, no child restraint, and driving with a suspended license. This was a serious case. What happened a month later was way worse.
What?
On September 16, 2021, Jay got hit with accessory to second-degree murder and obstruction of justice charges related to a deadly shooting that happened in 2020. Jay posted a video of himself getting arrested and captioned it with, "I only want to change my city. Judgment of unreliable sources ain't right. I'm an artist, not a statistic." Rumors started flying about what the arrest was for, but eventually, more info was released about what went down. The murder happened at a birthday party in Louisiana for a woman named Big Ray. She hired some local club promoters to help bring in a crowd, and over 100 people showed up to the party on August 8th, 2020. At around 8 p.m. that night, a group of dudes pulled out automatic weapons and started dumping shots into the crowd. 3 people got hit during the shooting, and unfortunately, one of them died from their injuries. She was a 21-year-old from New York named Zion Hutchinson, who was staying in Baton Rouge at the time. A few days after the shooting, the police arrested a 30-year-old named Brandon Perry and a 23-year-old named Tommy Diamond for second-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. Then, a dude named Craig Brown got booked too, but Brown wasn't a shooter. He was just a club promoter who they charged with possession of illegal drugs with intent to distribute, negligent homicide, and 2 counts of negligent injury. Even though he wasn't involved with the shooting, cops still thought he was responsible because he helped run the event. Then Big Ray was also arrested and charged with negligent homicide, negligent injury, because the shooting happened at a party. Eventually, the cops tracked down 2 more alleged shooters in Texas and Montana. Then a year later, they connected Jay to the case. Since he was charged with accessory to second-degree murder, the cops obviously didn't think Jay was one of the dudes shooting, but they might have thought he helped the shooters escape or get rid of evidence. Jay never spoke about what went down publicly, and we'll probably never know the full story of what happened that night. Another time Jay made headlines was back in 2019 when he got his chain snatched at a show in North Carolina. A video leaked online showing Jay getting in some kind of fight. Then later, another video was posted where an unknown dude holds an ATK chain. Someone yells out, "Tell him come get this shit." Then the dude holding the chain says, "F that Jay the Youngin." Jay wasn't an official member of ATK, but he was close with Young and Ace, and they had a collab project together, so Ace gave him a chain to show love. A few days after it went down, Jay hopped on Twitter and said, "If you don't know facts about a situation, don't speak on that shit. And I'm so solid, can't shit phase or break me. I'm built for this." Then Young and Ace got involved and told the thieves they had 1 hour to give Chain his chain back. The dudes obviously knew Ace wasn't the one to play with. And not long after, Jay hopped on IG to show everyone he got his chain back. The next day, rumors started flying that the dude who took it got chipped. A dude named Aaron Thomas was killed in his home in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yo,
There's some grand glider conspiracy at work somewhere in here.
Sun rays like branch out into the universe and run deep in Bogalusa.
And think about it. All of them are like this. Like every last one of those rappers, their life story or their career is like this.
Exactly, bro.
And all these little towns are just infested with this shit. Like little quiet little towns.
Bro, in major cities, it's fucking 10,000 of these people.
I'm telling you.
In Bogalusa, it's probably fucking 200. In medium-sized cities, it's 5,000. Bro, this shit is...
Bogalusa is probably 400. I would say it's probably 400. Because, like, everybody is like that. Like,
yes.
Well, here's the thing. I would say, like, rappers, they probably have, like, maybe 10 to 12 rappers. But as far as, like, homies and thugs, they probably got, like, 400. 5,000. A city of 5,000, they probably got, like, 400 thugs.
I was looking at them videos to see if the fucking mayor was in them videos with Jada Youngin back in the day or some shit.
No, he wasn't gonna be out on them streets. He was a scared little boy to get off the porch.
Okay,
Shit, I would be too in Bogalusa. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Plus, I think his mama was in
Jay,
the military.
ATK affiliates.
And he followed her around for a long time. If you see the last name Trong, his grandpa was like Vietnamese or some shit. He was some old Asian guy that used to they called him Tone. All he did was work on like old 4-wheelers, motorbikes, and all that, and that's how he made his living. And then he started sleeping with them black women in the hood, paying them money, and then boop, here he come.
Paying the money, huh? You paying the money, you don't say.
That's right.
Wow. We about to wrap this up. Salute to everybody. Let me finish this video, man.
Affiliates started dissing them on social media, so it seemed like they was behind the hit. Later, one of Aaron's homies came out and said that Jay and the other dudes was lying for clout. According to him, Jay and Ace paid 25 racks to get the chain back, and Aaron's death wasn't related to the situation. He also FaceTimed the dude who took the chain, proved that ATK wasn't involved at all. Jada Youngin had a lot of issues, but at the end of the day, he was a talented artist who never stopped working on his craft. He already dropped 2 EPs this year, and also planned on creating his own label to sign other artists who came from the streets like him. Unfortunately, he'll never be able to reach his full potential, but he left fans with a ton of music to carry on his legacy.
Unfortunately, he'll never be able to face his full potential.
A true loss.
I know. Any final thoughts, guys, man? Any thoughts, man?
Yeah, black people around here stupid and I'm gonna tell you. Because they a lot of them, like one yesterday said, why they arrested him, about his frontal lobe, all that ain't even fully functioned. He don't know what he's doing, but yet you voted him in for mayor. You just show how smart you is, stupid. I mean, I'm telling you, it's ignorance around here, man. And it's all because of the Ku Klux Klan. It ain't even the locals. It's the feds that's at him. The state's gone and got him. It ain't got nothing to do with the local.
Jeez.
Got to blame somebody for their ignorance.
That was something. That was something else.
Yeah, leave it on that note.
Yeah, that was a great show, man.
I'm breathless after hearing all that.
Same black time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Peace up.
Y'all have a good one.
Peace.